first of all, do you think that Jeremy Corbyn and Theresa May will actually push the deal over the line?
No, I don't. I think the one thing that will get the deal over the line is if the government and Jeremy Corbyn agree that we should have what we call a confirmatory referendum on the result. And that certainly I and my party and I think the other Remainers in the House of Commons would vote for the government deal if it were subject to a referendum. I think it's the only way out of this mess. And I think I'm going along to see the Deputy Prime Minister in a few moments' time, and I will be making that case to them.
So what do you think is the chance of a second referendum? 50-50 or stronger?
I would say it's about that level. We know that the Prime Minister is deeply opposed to it, and that's the current blockage. But it's not obvious what the other way's out. I mean, I really don't see these talks with the Labour Party get anywhere. Maybe I'm unduly negative, but I don't see how the Labour Party can possibly sign up to it unless there is a referendum attached. Quite apart from anything else, if the government does agree to have a customs union, how would it then be deliverable under a new Conservative Prime Minister if there's the changes that could happen over the next year? I can't imagine that the Labour Party, its MPs and its members would accept a deal without a referendum.
But do you worry that your strategy will alienate 52% who voted for the 52% who voted for Brexit?
Well, we've been very clear from the outset. I mean, there are people who, take a very strong and passionate view about it on the other side of the argument. We're unambiguous. We argue we should stop Brexit. We've argued for a people's vote. We're not apologetic about it. Some people may not like that, but I think others admire the honesty and clarity of our position. And indeed, in the local elections last week, we did well in Leave areas as well as in Remain areas.
So you have said you will stand down soon. Do the local election results and the success that you had last week actually make you think again?
No, I don't think you can operate like that if you're a leader. I think you've got to be decisive and clear about what you're planning to do. I've been clear for some time that we needed to have an orderly succession. I want the next generation to take over and lead us into the next general election. I'm not, and there are people flattering me and telling me I should stay forever, but I don't think that's an intelligent way of doing it. I've made a commitment. We're now planning the succession process, and I'm very content with it.
Are you preparing for a general election this year?
I think there's quite a high probability. I mean, the scenario which lots of people have described is that there's a change in Tory leadership in June. The new leader, whoever it is, will want a political mandate, and we then get a general election in September, October. So that's perfectly plausible. I don't think it necessarily solves the problem, because we may finish up with a parliament much like the one we've got at the moment, but with more Liberal Democrats, probably less emphasis on reliance on the Democratic Unionists in Northern Ireland. There may be a shuffling of the pack, but the fact is the country is badly divided on the Brexit issue, and actually the only way to resolve it now, I think, is through a referendum. A general election won't do that.
What are the Lib Dems today? Are you just a protest party, or would you actually be willing to enter a government coalition again?
Well, we're not entering into a coalition with this present Conservative Party or with the Corbyn-led Labour Party, but as a matter of history and tradition, we are for working with other people. I mean, we did work in the coalition in the UK. It was actually a very good government. We were punished for it politically, but it was a successful period of government. The lesson from last week was that people rewarded the Liberal Democrats because we're good at local government. We run a lot of councils, we do it well. And people like that. So, yeah, we are very much a party for doing things and running things and working with other people to make it happen. But we're certainly not talking about coalition with the current leadership of either the Tory or the Labour Party.
How do you think the European elections will go?
Very difficult to say at the moment. There are a lot of people who are very unhappy because the elections are happening at all. It's clear that a lot of support is getting behind Mr. Farage's Brexit party. I would not be surprised if they do well. But the question is what happens on the Remain side. There are several different Remain parties. I would be happier if we'd been working together, but that didn't happen. So I'm currently trying to mobilise people behind the Liberal Democrats as the clearest, strongest Remain party. I expect us to do well, and I hope that will be one of the main messages from the evening.
Right, this is, I guess, the concern, right? Given the Remain vote is likely split three ways, which is the Lib Dems, the Greens and Change UK, can the Lib Dems realistically change and affect the debate on Brexit?
Well, we would hope to. I mean, what we are sending is a very clear, unambiguous, honest message. I mean, I think we are the best people to deliver that because we've been campaigning longest for, you know, remaining within the European Union. We've been a European party for half a century. We're the best organised on the ground, and we hope people get behind us. But the European elections are not going to be a referendum on Brexit. That will have to happen subsequently, and when the arguments will be clearly put on both sides. What we see it is an opportunity to get a lot of, well, certainly a substantial number of Lib Dem MEPs. We hope that they will remain there for 5 years to defend British interests in Europe. We have a very clear vision about what Europe can achieve. You know, issues like climate change, competition policy with the big global companies, trying to have some stability in a world with Putin and Trump. There's a lot Europe can do, and we want to have a strong European representation, and that will be the main objective of these European elections from our point of view.